Today we're settling a question I get asked a lot: Linux Mint or Zorin OS, which one you should actually pick if you are a beginner to Linux or coming from Windows. Both look familiar, both are free, both are Ubuntu based, but live with them for a while and they pull in very different directions. I spent real time with both and I'm walking you through 9 categories to tell you exactly where each one wins. Before we get started, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, it really helps the channel grow. Alright, let's get into it. Both use a simple graphical installer and the overall flow will feel familiar if you have ever installed any modern operating system before. You boot from a USB stick and both distros drop you straight into a live environment first, meaning you can actually explore the OS, test your Wi-Fi, check if your hardware works properly, and get a real feel for the things before you commit to installing anything permanent on your drive. That live sessions first approach is honestly one of the best things about trying Linux in general, since there's no risks involved until you actually click install. Once you are ready, the installer walks you through language, keyboard layout, connecting to Wi-Fi, and then the disk setup, which is usually the part that makes beginner nervous. Both distros make this easy by offering a simple erase and disk install option that handles partitioning automatically. If you are a bit more experienced and want to dual boot alongside with your existing Windows installation, both installers support that too. Where the two differ is more in feel than function. Zorin install has slightly more modern guided visual style. Mint's installer is more plain and to the point. It doesn't try to impress you visually, it just gets the job done efficiently. Install time on both is roughly the same, somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes depending upon your hardware. So for the installation itself, this one is basically a tie. Neither is going to trip up a beginner and neither is going to frustrate someone who's done this 100 times before. This is the category that matters most for this video, so let's slow down. Zorin has a tool called Zorin Appearance that lets you switch your entire desktop layout in one click. Windows style with a bottom taskbar and a start menu. macOS style with a dock and top bar. A compact layout to save screen space. A layout inspired by Mint's own redesign. Even a minimal elementary OS like layout. Whatever you are coming from, Zorin can reshape itself to match it. Mint doesn't do live switching, you pick your desktop environment at install, Cinnamon, Mate or XFCE, and that's your look. But Cinnamon on its own already feels close to classic Windows, especially with that start menu style launcher when you hit the Windows key. And there's the Zorin Windows app database. Double click on a Windows installer and Zorin recognizes it. The database now covers over 240 apps instead of just failing silently. It suggests a native Linux alternative, like pointing you towards a LibreOffice instead of an old Office installer. Mint has nothing like this. You are expected to already know or go research the Linux equivalent for yourself. And for the apps that generally need Windows to run, both distros support Wine and Bottles, which let you run some Windows program directly on Linux. Zorin bundles this as a ready-to-go Windows app support tool, so Wine and Bottles are configured for you automatically. Older, well-known softwares like Photoshop, CS6 or Office 2013 can work this way. On Mint, the exact same technology works, but you have to install and configure Bottles yourself from scratch. Put it all together: layouts, app detection, alternative suggestions, Windows app support, and it's not close. Zorin clearly wins this category. Let's talk about the actual desktop environment themselves, since this is where daily comfort really comes from. Zorin is built on GNOME under the hood, but heavily modified so it doesn't look like stock GNOME at all. You get that rounded modern theme, smooth window tiling with the ability to snap windows into custom layouts, subtle animations that feel deliberate rather than distracting, and an overall level of visual cohesion that genuinely looks like something you'd pay for. Icons, Windows borders, notification pop-ups, everything feels like it was designed by the same team with the same vision in mind. Mint gives you a genuine choice of desktop environment, and this matters more than people give it credit for. Cinnamon is the flagship and the one most people mean when they say Linux Mint. It's polished, modernist, and the one that got the big Cinnamon 6.6 update with a redesigned application menu, notification badges on your taskbar icons, and a cleaner icon set. Mate is for people who want something a bit more traditional and lightweight, closer to GNOME 2 era. And XFCE is the leanest of the three, built for speed and low resource uses above everything else. Having that choice baked into the same distro rather than needing to install a completely different OS is a real point in Mint's favor for people who know exactly what kind of desktop they want. On customization, both are generally flexible once you dig in, but they approach differently. Zorin's customization is centralized and guided. The Zorin appearance app puts themes, layouts, taskbar position, and icon styles all in one clean panel, so even total beginner can make meaningful changes without ever touching a settings file. Mint's customization is more traditional Linux style. Cinnamon has a robust system of applets, dexlets, and extensions that let you deeply reshape the desktop, but it's spread across a few different settings menu rather than one unified app, so it rewards people who like to explore a bit more. If you want that immediate wow factor and a system that feels alive and premium, Zorin edges ahead. If you want something that feels stable, familiar, and never surprises you, Mint has just as much appeal, especially for users who plan to stick with the same setup for years without wanting things to shift onto them. Since both distros are Ubuntu based underneath, they are pulling from the exact same innermost software repositories, which means in terms of raw app availability, there's generally no difference. If it's available for one, it's available for other as well. Both also fully support Flatpak with FlatHub enabled by default. Both support Snap packages and both can run app images without any extra setup. So no matter what packaging format a piece of software comes in, you are covered either way. Where they differ is the software center experience itself. Mint Software Manager leans heavily into curation. It presents apps with ratings, written reviews from other users, and categorized browsing, so you get a proper sense of whether something is coming actually good before you install it. Almost like an app store experience you'd expect from a phone. Zorin software experience leans more on app detection and recommendation system, we already covered in the migration section. Zorin's store is still fully featured and easy to navigate, but the philosophy is more let us guide you than here's everything, go and explore. Package management under the hood is identical on both since they both use apt and the same core tools. So anything you can do from the terminal on one, you can do on the other with zero difference in commands or behavior. Overall, this category is generally a wash. If you like browsing, reading reviews, and deciding for yourself, Mint Software Manager will feel more satisfying. If you'd rather be guided toward the right choice without much digging, Zorin's approach will feel more comfortable. Both benefit from Ubuntu's hardware enablement stack, which lets an LTS-based system still pick up newer kernels and drivers over time instead of feeling frozen in place. Mint has a reliable automatic driver detection tool that quietly handles graphics, Wi-Fi, and printer drivers in the background. Zorin tends to ship with newer kernel versions a bit faster in its point releases. The latest build runs kernel 6 or 17, which can mean slightly better out-of-the-box support for brand new hardwares. Slight edge to Zorin for newer hardware, but both handle detection well enough that most users won't notice a real difference. This is where your actual hardware really decides the winner, so let's break it down properly instead of just calling it a general vibe. On older or lower spec machines, think anything with 4GB RAM or a processor that's 5+ year old, Mint tends to have a real world edge. Cinnamon itself is noticeably lighter on resources than Zorin's modified GNOME desktop, using less RAM at idle and putting less strain on your CPU just to render the desktop. And if your machine is genuinely ancient, Mint gives you an even lighter option by switching to the Mate or XFCE editions, both of which are built from the ground up to ship resources rather than consume them, letting Mint comfortably run on hardware that's a decade old or more without feeling sluggish. Zorin doesn't ignore this problem either. It counters with its own Zorin OS Lite edition, built on XFCE especially for older machines, aiming to deliver that same premium Zorin experience without the resource overhead of the full GNOME-based version. So if you are set on Zorin specifically, but you are working with weaker hardware, Lite is generally a solid answer rather than an afterthought. On modern reasonably current hardware, the story flips a bit. Testing between two shows performance is actually quite close, with Zorin sometimes edging slightly ahead thanks to more up-to-date graphics drivers being included by default, along with some built-in performance patches specifically aimed at reducing micro lag during Windows animations and transitions, which can make the desktop feel snappier even when the raw numbers are similar. Boot times are comparable across both on modern SSDs, though Zorin's slightly heavier visual effects can add a touch more time to boot animations, specifically not actual system readiness. Under sustained everyday use, web browsing, office work, media playback, both stay light on system resources, and neither one is going to bog down a mid-range modern laptop. So the real practical answer here is this old laptop or budget hardware, lean mint. Especially if you go with Mate or XFCE, anything modern and reasonably capable, it's basically a toss-up and you should pick based on looks and workflow rather than the performance anxiety. Good news for gamers, both support Steam, Lutris and Proton without any real difference in underlying performance. Since they are built on the same Ubuntu foundation, meaning same graphic drivers, the same kernel level support and the same compatibility layers are available to both. If a game runs well on one, you can expect it to run essentially the same on the other. Zorin does have a genuine convenience is here though. Gaming tools tend to be more visibly integrated and easier to find out of the box, and Zorin's first boot experience is generally geared towards feeling complete, faster, with less digging required to get Steam or Lutris installed and configured for the first time. For someone who just wants to install their OS and start gaming within the hour, that matters. Mint requires a touch more manual setup. You'll likely be installing Steam yourself from the software manager and doing a bit more initial configuration for things like Proton compatibility layers, but once everything is set up, performance and game compatibility are essentially identical to Zorin. On the multimedia side, both distros handle audio and video excellently. Common codecs for music and video playback are either pre-installed or just one click away in the software center, so you won't run into the classic old Linux problem of videos or music files refusing to play. Both also default to modern audio systems that handle Bluetooth and audio devices, multiple output sources and low latency audio as well, which matters if you are doing anything involving video calls, streaming or music production. So overall, gaming and multimedia is close to a tie in terms of raw capability, with Zorin's winning slightly on convenience and Mint requiring a bit more initial elbow grease for the exact same end result. This is where Mint generally shines. Its update manager is famously cautious, updates are optional, clearly categorized by risk level, and you'll never get hit with a surprise force reboot. Pair that with time shift, which lets you roll your entire system back if something breaks, and Mint feels designed to protect you from yourself. Quick fact worth knowing here, we are comparing the standard Ubuntu based edition of Mint in this video since that's the direct match against Zorin. But Mint also offers LMD, the Linux Mint Debian edition, which swaps out Ubuntu entirely and runs Debian directly. It's considered even more stable long term since it removes Ubuntu as a middleman. Worth knowing if rock solid stability is your top priority, though that's really a separate conversation outside today's comparison. Zorin follows a standard Ubuntu LTS update cycle, reliable but without that same extra layer of caution built in. Clear win for Mint here. Last category is security, privacy, and who's got your back when something goes wrong. On privacy, both are generally respectful, neither has telemetry anywhere close to Windows. Zorin has had some past chatter online about a ping sent on boot worth knowing about, though it's nowhere near kind of data collection you'd see from mainstream commercial OS. On community support, Mint has the edge purely on scale. It's one of the most widely used Linux distros out there, meaning a bigger, older community from more forum threads and more documentation if you get stuck. Zorin's community is smaller but still active and generally helpful. So let's bring it all together. If you want Linux to feel premium from the very first boot, want real help easing off Windows app specifically, and you're okay with trading a slightly smaller community for that, go with Zorin OS. If you want maximum long-term stability, a massive support community, and rock-solid performance even on older hardware, go with Linux Mint. There's no wrong answer here. Both are excellent, both are free, and honestly the best way to know for sure is to boot either from a USB stick and try it yourself before committing. And that's it for today. I read every single comment, so let me know down below which one you're leaning toward or which one you're already using. I'd generally love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.